Hello, beautiful soul from the great state of Washington here on Whidbey Island. So your question was, did something happen in your past life that has caused you to be so fearful of animals and being killed by them in this past life? Your answer is yes. Okay, so what was it? How do we fix it? So we fix it by facing the fear and releasing that fear, okay? So let's see what the cards have to say to you about your past life, shall we? Your first card was Native American. Your second card is Mother. How fitting. And your third card is Egypt. So we are talking right now about 3 different lifespans, okay? 3 different past lives, yet they all come together. They all have to do with each other. All right. So with the Native American one, which is your first one, right? What does that mean? Well, that means a lot of things. That means you believed then that animals were spirits and they helped you deliver messages to the gods. Okay. So you truly believed that. Now, how did that go from that to the fear of your animals? So a lot of us develop fears from things that happen to us, okay? With that being said, this card, Native American, signifies that you had an important past life as a Native American, so which is connected to your current journey in life, this life. You may be drawn to different types of artifacts or cultures or spirituality that has to do with Native American life, and that's because you were Native American. You may feel like some things feel familiar or you don't understand why they feel familiar. Well, that would be why. Now, through doing some research through Native American teachings, that can help you release this fear of animals. You have these memories stored in your mind, in your process, in your conscious part of your mind. And you can ask your angels and your spirit guide to help you remember what happened that pertains to this lifetime from then. I feel like you have some hidden anger or pain because of a battle or a loss during that past lifetime. You were an indigenous person, as you have been previously before in past life, and you did have some traumas that you faced during this time, and during these past lives. When you would leave where you lived and transitioned into another area, you faced a lot of difficulty during that time. And you know as well as I do, Native Americans weren't treated very well at first. And you were a wife, and I feel like you focused more on taking care of the children and doing what your wife duties were then, and you just had a hard time with transition and the abuse. Your partner wasn't very emotionally connected to you. They were a bit abusive. The women were not treated very well back then. They weren't respected very well back then. But what you went through during that part of your life has carried over into this life and will stay with you until you have allowed it to go, forgive it, or learned your lesson. Okay? Now, the second card goes along with what I just told you, the Native American as being a mother. Being a mother, we all tend to be very protective of our children. We all have a role that we play. So this card has to do with not only you, but your mother. Your mother in this life was also with you in another lifetime, okay? And this is very, very common occurrence with mother and children, because you're so closely bonded that like you could have a sister in a past lifetime that you were very close to that came to you this time as a mother, for example, or your mother from many lives past found you again in this lifetime. So this, I feel like it's been your mom and you, your relationship is significant and emotional, and you have a very, very deep physical bond. Okay, so that is how you two found each other. You and your mother enjoy spending time together. You did in the past life, you do in this life, and you had, now don't get me wrong, you had your struggles just like we all do, but I feel like the two of you found each other again because of some unsolved issues or something that you two faced together. And that could very well be as a Native American in your past life, or it could have been your mother from the Native American part of your life. And it could also be because you have the Egypt card too, so you also were an Egyptian in that era back then, so it could have been that time in your life as well. I haven't got to that card yet. So your feelings with your mom and you as a mother are directly related to your ability to manifest abundance. Okay. Your motherly energy is about receiving and if you have blocks during this motherly part of your life, it could be with you've developed a control issue that prevents you from receiving help from others. Like you want to do it all. You don't want to ask people for help. You don't know how to ask people for help because you feel like you need to do everything. So I feel like you're being asked to do more personal work concerning your mom, your current mom, as well as your past life. Now, as you go through life now, you can ask your angels and your guides to help you remember things from a past life that pertain to your life now. And they will leave you messages, give you hints, and then it's up to you to write it down and piece the parts together, the puzzles together. I do feel like, sorry, that's my little Yorkie, Gizmo. I do feel like that you struggled with one of your lifetimes as a mother. I feel like that you had a child that you lost, and it was very, very traumatic for you. And you have not yet been able to let that go. Okay, so it's bedded very deeply inside of you, which comes to you as being a very protective mom, a very emotional mother, but also a very stern mom at times when you feel like you need to, like Mama Bear protects their cubs. Yeah. So the third card, the Egypt card, this card signifies a very significant past life that you lived in Egypt, which relates to the present situation in question that you asked about, trauma, traumatic trauma and stuff from a past life into this one. So when a negative pattern stubbornly refuses to heal, that is because it stems from a past life experience. Does that make sense? So you've brought this, I feel like you've brought a lot with you. A lot of lessons that were left undone, a lot of forgiveness that was left undone, karmic debt that you brought with you. And it's not just your karmic debt, it's also ancestors, okay? And I feel like you have the power and the strength to tap into that, to heal it and release it. so that you no longer have to take it with you when you reincarnate into your next life. I feel like you're kind of drawn to certain aspects of the Egyptian life. Like, I feel like you have the desire to maybe travel or learn more about it. You're not really quite sure which part of it that you're drawn to or why. So I feel like with this, it's also asking you to find balance and harmony in your life between individual and group needs, between give and take, and how to fit into a culture, how by adjusting and accepting these different things that have come through the past into a present life will help you heal and help you to achieve your own personal goals and aspirations in life. I feel like you're a very determined person, but yet you're very emotional at times. And that, again, comes from a past life experience. I really strongly feel like that is connected to the fact that you lost a child in a previous life. And there was so much pain in your life. So now your question was, why do you have fear of animals? Why are you afraid that they are going to kill you? When you were in the Native American part of your life, there was an incident with you and an animal. It didn't happen to you per se, but you did witness a death of an attack through an animal into one of the people that was part of your tribe. And that has left a very traumatic experience in your conscious part of your brain, and you've brought it with you. So I feel like you're being guided to work on that. Maybe take small steps. I just feel like if you took small steps to being around animals, just saying, I love you, I forgive you, releasing this fear, relinquishing past life karmic debt, and just taking your time to get to know the animals or research them and see what they're like, that will help you. But more so, I feel like it's time for you to relinquish that fear and karmic debt with a prayer to our divine creator, asking your angels and your spirit guides to help you with that. But it's up to you on how you feel. I can't guide you as far as helping you fix that, because that has to do with internal you. But I know you can do it, and I know you have the capability of doing it. And I hope this all makes sense, because it's really hard to understand when you're looking back into a past life and a present life. You're thinking, okay, some of this sounds good, some of it doesn't. And that is because we don't remember. We think we don't remember our past lives, but we have that capability of remembering it. We just have to ask. And then we have to listen, and we have to pay attention to what's coming. And I also feel like you're receiving these messages in between realm sleep as you're drifting off or you're waking up, or you can be doing something. And I strongly feel these messages are coming to you. You're getting things that are telling you about past life experiences, things you did. You'll see something and you're like, ooh, you're really drawn to that. It could be a hairstyle. It could be a place. It could be a town, a city, clothing, a design, that kind of thing, food. And that's because it has something to do with your past life, okay? The trauma that you faced, my dear, affects the way you are now. The trauma that you went through with the animals affects the way you are now. So my personal suggestion, the way I feel, the way the angels and the guides have told me, and what I feel like, is that it's time for you to let that go. Just send it on its way with love and compassion, releasing it back to the universe, okay? And then just when fear pops into your mind, it's time for you to reassure yourself that you are safe, that animal's not going to hurt you, and that you will be okay. That it's a blessing from our Creator that you get that experience to be around the animal and experience this type of exposure to the animal and healing, okay? So I hope this makes sense. And if you have any questions, please let me know. And I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.